Hey everyone, I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Today we're going to take a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles classic comic book series Shredder figure from NECA Toys. This figure is based off the comic books from the early 80s by Kevin Eastman. It's a Loot Crate exclusive, and there were 3 crates originally planned for this year. This one is the only comic-based figure announced right now, and the other 2 crates include figures from the cartoon and from the arcade game from NECA Toys that are also coming out. Those will be shipping at a later time if you pre-ordered them last year. I would like to thank our friends at NECA Toys for providing Shredder for review. Greatly appreciated. So what you see is a look at the packaging of NECA. They really did a nice job. It's black with silver lettering, silver lines, the Nickelodeon logo, basically everything that what I think the packaging for this figure should be. They really did an excellent job on it. And you see on this side here is a look at more of that great lettering there with the Nickelodeon logo. And the back gives you another more lettering. It gives you some action shots of Shredder done in panels, just like the original comic. And the other side gives you a look at Shredder done in silver and black. And in case you didn't know, the original comic book from Kevin Eastman was done in black and white. So, and that's why the packaging has some black and silver on there to pay a tribute to that. So what I'm going to do now is open this up and we're going to take a closer look. So as you can see, I have taken Shredder out of packaging, and they did a really good job on the sculpt and painting the figure. He used the same sculpt as the 2016 New York Comic Con exclusive figure that was released, and I'll show you that figure in a few moments. But I want to start off taking a look at the deco for this release. As I said before, it's based off the classic Mirage comic book from Kevin Eastman. And they did a really good job with this one. You can see the black tone over the blue. I really like how they did that. The blades on him are soft, so you could bend them. You don't have to worry about them breaking. They're not hard plastic, so if your finger accidentally whizzes by one, it won't snap off, which is definitely good. But just look at this awesome deco that they've given this figure. Check that out. The armor for him is metallic silver, and again with the black lines in between giving him definition. So they really nailed that as well. This piece over here is also soft plastic, as is the front over here. But I want to give you an even closer look at them. Just really take a look at that great deco. I think they really nailed it. This figure was sculpted from the 4 Horsemen originally. Just check that out. And here's a look at his head sculpt, as you can see. They really did a good job with the helmet, the paint. The helmet's not removable, as you can see. It's part of the head. and peeking through the helmet is his head, which is painted black, and white eyes there. Also, the shoulder pads are made of soft plastic, and I said the blades were, as are these down here as well, but everything else is hard plastic. And there's a comparison between the two Mirage shredders. This one here, New York Comic Con, released in 2016, and there's the new one. You can definitely see the difference between all the paint. And originally, it is a little hard to tell. It's the same sculpt. You got to really look at it up close, because they, I think they really hit it with the new one. You can see all the black deco there. It really hides it well, and it's a little tricky to tell, but it's definitely all the same sculpt, just repainted, as well as the head sculpt. You can see it almost looks brand new. I mean, that's how really good they did with the deco, but it's all the same. And the only difference is between these two figures, other than the deco, or the accessories, which I'll show you in a few moments. And there's a look at the back, and you can also see the difference from over here, the new deco. They did a lot more shading with the blue version. And from over here, the helmet looks exactly the same from the back, and you can see the difference in some of the other armor. There's some additional shading in the shoulder pads compared to over here, and various other things. So you can definitely see the difference from over here. So there's a look at that. And just for reference, there's a comparison of almost every other version of Shredder released from NECA Toys. The only one missing is the Turtles in Time Series 2 figure, which I have over here, and we'll be checking that out later on, probably this week. And this one over here is the original repaint of that from one of the conventions. I think it was San Diego Comic Con 2015. I would have to double check that. But you see the big difference between the new version of Shredder and all the others. NECA has always done a really good job, and it shows. All these versions look great. And now I'm going to look at the accessories. And here's a look at his accessories. This version of Shredder comes with a bow and arrow, a scythe with a chain, and a set of interchangeable hands to hold these accessories. And I think they really did a good job with all this. The bow here has a string attached to it. It's sculpted and painted to look like wood, as is the arrow, and it's also painted to look as though the tip of it is metal. I think that came out very nicely. A set of interchangeable hands over here, and here is a look at the scythe with the chain. Alright, so here's a look at Shredder holding the bow and arrow. It looks really good once you get it in his hand. You can create some dynamic poses with it, various other ways to display it. The only issue with this is that it's tricky to get him to hold it. And the arrow handle is a little too small for his hand to grip it. And you have to bring the string over to the other hand just to get him to hold on to the whole thing, and then rest the arrow in his hand and on his forearm as shown. But once you get it to look something like this, it looks really good from a distance. Technically, when you shoot an arrow, it's supposed to be resting on the outside over here, not so much on the inside as it's shown in the video. but that was basically the only way to get him to hold the bow and arrow. But other than that, it looks really good from a display standpoint. And his other accessory is the scythe with a chain attached to it. And as far as holding it, it's the same story as the bow and arrow. It's too small for his hands, it's very loose fitting, and there's really no proper way to hold it. It really has to be held on an angle, or it really limits his posability with it. But it is a good accessory. It just has to be positioned the right way, as shown on an angle like that, or something like that, as it's very loose fitting, as you can see. You can see just by me playing with it now, there's really no good grip. It just moves around too easily. And there's a comparison with the previous version of Shredder, holding a very similar accessory that came with them. It's a dagger and a mace attached to a chain. And believe it or not, this actually, there's no problem with him gripping onto it. And unfortunately, the new version, at least this particular sample, it's very hard for him to hold the accessories. You have to balance it right. But honestly, I don't know if this particular figure really needs to hold his accessories. He looks great without them. He looks tough. It's basically everything you would want in a Shredder figure from the Mirage comics. So I would definitely recommend picking him up. And again, I would like to thank NECA Toys for providing this for review. I am Anthony Scott of ToyHypeUSA.com. Please like and share this video. Please follow us on social media. Links below on YouTube or on the upper right-hand side of the website under Follow Us. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more coverage.